Atlanta. Practice Officer 5000, Jeremiah, the camp leader of Atlanta. Passover 2025. Starting April the 9th, we got the lamb slaughter. April the 10th, we got General Muhammad's class. April the 11th, we got the black party that's going to have the Hebrew graduation. April the 12th, in Atlanta, Georgia, the 56th annual Passover, the only Passover under Commander Junior Hunter.
Our great and holy King has honored us for turning our lives from the darkness to the light, man. There's no greater gift you can receive than to wake up to the truth and then commit your life to saving your brothers, man. Looking in their eyes and seeing their faces and seeing what they've suffered and what they've gone through and seeing the end of it, man. It is a guaranteed seat in the kingdom of heaven, man. So in the name of our King Yahushua, we dedicate us another Passover of brothers and sisters' lives being saved.
April the 13th, we got the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Shalom.
First reader, present that registry.
Trooper Ashratazak, Banya Shala.
Trooper Ashratazak, Banya Aura, Banya Shala.
Yabashin Yasaberton.
Yabashim Yasaberton. Second, Charles, please. Let me sort it. Good.
Laya Shala. Am I arguing between stand?
Upon Yakudam, turn to face the east. Traditionally, now we can kick off.
Come. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemai,
Kudah,
Ayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakaka, Aba'ah, Ratzaka, Ayah, Aisha, Baal Ratzah, Kawah, Ayah, Bashemai, Nathan, Lanaw, Come, Call, Yawam, Wasalakna, Kabawakinau, Kasalaknau, Wala'ah, Kabayana, Banasal 1, Ball, Hawashana, Mayan, Rye, Kaya, the cup, Amalakwa, Waha'ala, Waha'atapara, La'ai Walumi, Aman.
In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
Prayer for the power in Hebrew. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh. Baba Kasha. Lathanganau. Aka. Larapa. Call Makala. Call Madawa. Haka. Lots of heart. How much right? How much was right? Haka. Lahaku. Amafi. Haka. Al Rakawa. Hatama'ala. Garsha. Bashim Yahusha.
In English, Yahweh. And then Yahusha. Please give us the power. Power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. Power to cleanse the lepers. Power to raise the dead. Power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. The name Yahusha. Thank you so big.
Prayer to bless Israel. Yahweh Hashem Yahusha.
Yahusha.
Baraklanau. Wayasharala. Waha.
Bayat Sapari.
Barak. Bashim Yahusha.
In English, Yahweh. Name Yahusha. Bless us in Yahusha. Every school. In the name Yahusha. Thank you so big.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha Ayal. Asha.
Ayani.
Aharian.
Mayan.
Yaba.
Yaba.
Isariah,
Azar, Ma'ai, Yahweh, Aisha,
Shamayim, Waharatazah,
Waratazah,
Ayathan,
Ayathan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Regala,
Regala,
all young Yuam,
Al Yadawam,
Shamarka,
Shamar,
Hanut,
Hanat, La'a,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yayashan,
Yayashan,
Shamarwa,
Shamar,
Shawamar,
Shamar,
Yasharala,
Yashmar,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamar,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalaka,
Tazal,
Alyat,
Ariana,
Yamyaka,
Yamika,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashamash,
Hashemash,
La'a,
La'a,
Yakaka,
Yikaka,
Wayarak,
Wayira,
Bayal Yala, Bayal Yala, Bala Yala,
Bala Yala,
Howard,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shemar,
Makarai,
Makara,
Yashamar,
Yashmar,
Athnapashta,
Athra,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashmar,
Tazah,
Tata,
Babawak,
Wawa,
Maitha,
Maita,
Wa'ai,
Wa'ai,
Howlam.
I will know. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes to the hills.
What's coming from my help? My help coming from Yahweh.
From Yahweh.
Which made heaven and earth. You will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
You will not suffer my foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold, he that keepeth Yah Shalom,
He that keepeth Yah Shalom.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. Sun shall not smite thee by day,
Shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Thou shalt preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Thou shalt preserve thy going out.
and thy coming in.
And thy coming in.
In this time forward,
It is not for
and even forevermore.
And even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew.
It's like, for time's sake, I'll read this one. Alright. I'll tell you out of the cup. I'll talk the rocks. For all that squat. Oh, Kayaka none. I'll be happy good. The humble you want. For my tonight. Sha'awa ra'as. Al-Amiku. Ya'ariyamu. Sawada. Maya. Maya itazawa. I'll touch for one you good. Amaru. Akwa. Unakakidam. Agawi. Ola'a. Al-Skor. Shamya Sha'al. Awda. Kaya. Nuwa itazawa. Baba. Yakadu. Ayuka. Maria. Yakaratu. Amalia. Arwam. Waya Shema Alayam. Mawab. Alagari. Ball. Mamuwa. Mamula. Alashat. Amisabi. Tazawo. Yamashabu. Damawa. Aimo. Aiwa. Zawa. Abanyuwa. Salah. Aishalaham. Kamari. Kasiya Sarah. Yabi. Malakho. Yashwan. Nashmaru. Bayan the Arab. Aiwa. Yaman. Adam, Shatam, Nadayah, Kaira, Akazaba, Akazaba, Artazalmanai, Kol Nasakum, Asha, Margaret, Nairasha, Anwa, Nawa, Alhay, Alhaya, Shantum, Golgula, Kwas, Panya Roka, Kash, Taba Ivory, Kalahab, Kalaha, Haryam, Come third up, Basir, Basapa, Double home, Mala'a, Panya home, Kuala One, Oyabakwash, Shankat, Yahoo, Yabash, Oyabaho, Adi Eye, Oyasapar, we got a bug, we got the hype, we got a thought, Shankat, Yahoo, a bug, how you want, Cow, how rough is that?
In the English, keep not thy silence, O God.
You know that, oh God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O God.
Be not still, oh God.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumble.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden one.
And consulted against thy enemies.
They have said,
Come,
let us cut them off from being a nation.
let us cut them off from each nation.
That the name of Israel
That the name of Israel
may be no more remembered.
may be no more remembered.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacle of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Moab.
Hagarine.
The Hagarine.
The Ball.
The Ball.
And
And
Amalek.
the
Philistine.
Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
The Swords also joined with them.
The sword also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Lot.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
As to Brook Kison.
As to Brook Kison.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became his dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red.
They got nobles like a red.
Like Zed.
Like said.
Yet all their princes as Zabah.
All the princes as Zabah.
And as Amun.
And as Amun.
Who said, let us take to ourselves
And state to ourselves
the houses of God in possession.
the house of God in possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As to stumble before the wind.
And the stuff before the wind.
As the fire burns the wood.
As the fire burns the wood.
And as the flames set the mountains on
And
fire.
as the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
They may seek thy name.
O Lord.
Oh Lord.
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Let them be found in trouble forever.
Yea.
Yeah.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
That men may know that thou,
Let men may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
his name is Lord Yahweh,
art the most high
art the most high,
over all the earth.
all the earth.
The prayer for the power structure in the Hebrew, Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh, Yahweh Shah.
Wa Makyal.
Yahweh,
Wa Allah Hayam.
Allah,
Wa Alahai.
Yahweh.
Mataziyabaya. Matazabiyah.
Matazabiyah.
Alawak Yahan.
Alawak Yahan.
Alawak.
Alawak.
Asarium. Asarium. Hasarayim.
Hasarayim.
Akwatazayim.
Akwatazayim.
Akoyoyim.
Akoyoyim.
Waha Kwakian.
Waha Kwakian.
Yahweh Bashim Yahshua.
Yahweh Bashim Yahshua.
Wadaman.
In English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
Yahweh Shah. Michael. The angel. The General Yahan. The General Captain. The officer. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. Yahweh Shah. Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it.
Talk to the front. You shall be seated. All right. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Baruch to the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Latam Shem Yahshua to the sisters. We are the ISUPK, the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are led by Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other organization or individual. Israel pay your tithes, man. ISUPK.com. You're ready for the Lord's 56th annual Passover, April 12th in Atlanta, Georgia, man. What's going on? Make sure you got, it's right around the corner. It's literally right there. Make sure you got your travel arrangements set. You got your lodging arrangements set. You got some extra funds on you for the nightlife, for the vendors at the events. Pay that $200 Passover fee per adult, 17 and older. So get ready for what's in store. Actually became Milwaukee, live with the Sabbath service. So we had to overlap a little bit. My count was off last week, so like it to the men above me. We are in Exodus chapter 16. Look on 16 and 14. Exodus chapter 16, verse 14. Whenever you're ready, let them know where you're at and kick it off.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 14, in the Hebrew. Wa. With wath. With aisle. With the aisle. Walk. What? Shock. Shock. Bath.
Say that again.
Shock. Bath.
Shakabath.
Shaka bath. Hatal.
Yeah.
Hatal. Wahana. I'll. I'll. Panaya. Panya. Hamad. Hamad. Hamadabar.
There you go.
Kwa. Kakwa. Cook. Is this? Is this? Oh, I think so. Maha. Mah. Sapas. Mah. Sapa. Maha sapas. Maha sapas. Kwa.
It's not a cup. I hear what you
On my head. the qua.
Yep.
Car. Car.
I'm missing the character.
Car. Oh, Slocky. Kakapar. Kakapar. I'll artisan.
So that again.
I'll artisan.
Maybe that's part of your thing.
I'll artisan. Artisan.
Clap it up for the brother. You can join us live every Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. respective in their time zones. Across the board for Lashwan Kodash, the Holy Tongue, the Hebrew language classes. We exercise it here in the Sabbath service. You can catch classes, the archives of the classes too, years ago. Way back when General Q, General Kabal Math was teaching the classes. Before we had all these YouTube channels and social media channels, and we were doing phone conferences. Just to continue from where the brother was reading in verse 15. Well, Yahweh, Banya Yasha'ala, well, Yahmarwa, Ayash, All, Achayawa, Mana, Hawa, Kaya, La'a, Yadaiwa, Maha, Hawa, Yamar, Masha, Alham, Hawa, Alham, Ashar, Nathan, Yahweh, Lakan, La'akala, verse 16, Zahar, Hadabar, Ashar, Tazawah, Tazawah, Yahweh, Bequatwa, Mamanwa, Ayash, Lapayat, Akawa, Aimar, Lagalgalat, Masapar, Napashatikam, Ayash, Lashar, Bahalwa, Thakahua, verse 17. Well, Ya Aishwa, Khan, Banya Yasha'ala, well, Ya Laquatwa, Hamarabah, Waha Mamaya, it's like Waha Mamaya, verse 18. It's like Wayamarwa, Baimar, Wala'a, Hayriwa, Hamarabah, Wahamamaya, La'a, Chasaya, Ayash, Lapaya, Akalwa, Laquatwa, verse 19. Wiyamar, Masha, Alham, Ayash, Al Yawatar, Mamanawa, I, Bakwa, verse 20. Wala'a, Mashaiwa, Al Masha. Wayawatarwa, Anashkim, Mamanawa, I, Bakwa, Wayaram. The Walayam, Wayabaash, Wayakwataza, Aliyaham, Masha. It's those 7 in the Hebrew. We're back into the English. So we're in Exodus chapter 16, verse 14 through 20.
Starting at 13, sir.
14.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 14. And when the dew that lay was gone, wait. Salaki. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness, there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. Verse 15. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna, manna. For they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. Verse 16. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating. And omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents. Verse 17. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less.
So again, just everybody gathering for their house. Some gathered more, some gathered less, according to the needs of the house. Now imagine the stuff that forms with the dew in the morning. The condensation, the moisturizer, the humidity in the air, settling on the grass, on the lawn, in the field. When the sun comes up, the dew evaporating, and what's left, the mineral composition, the molecular construct of whatever's left after that dew had evaporated up, that's the manna. Which, well, you get into some crazy science stories about how tadpoles had been evaporated up from lakes and ponds into the atmosphere. I can't remember if it was tadpoles or fish eggs, but they had gotten evaporated up with the humidity into the atmosphere, traveled along with the clouds, and when that got heavy enough, it was raining those tadpoles. It was raining them fish eggs. So just imagining that what's being gathered up this time, though, it's the nutrients, it's vitamins, it's minerals, it's sustenance that's gathered up in that dew, laid down on the grass in the field in front of them, all around them. And then when that dew, in verse 14, and when the dew that laid was gone up, behold, just lost myself. Behold, upon the face of the wilderness, there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. That's the manna. So condensed in the small amounts. The same way that we would do it today in the science lab. You could take a liquid that has maybe salt water in it, for example. You know, you could have like a liter or a gallon. I can't remember how much makes how much, let's take a gallon of salt water from the ocean. You put that in the beaker, you heat that up, you let the water evaporate, you're going to get left with that salt at the bottom. It's not going to be a whole lot in consideration to that whole gallon you just put in there. The little bit that's left at the bottom, that salt, it's not going to seem like a whole lot. But again, how dense and or how condensed that salt substrate is, that's how this manna was going to be too. So it wasn't going to be much looking, just a look upon it, but it was going to be, it was that was what was going to be enough to sustain them throughout this time in the wilderness. So again, in Omer, that was a unit of dry measure. I can't remember what we said it was last week, and we're relapping a little bit, or overlapping, I should say. Yeah, so an Omer was just a dry measure. So they're collecting it. That's going to be enough for each man, for each house. Some are able to gather more, some are able to gather less, according to their needs. And that should catch us back up. Keep going.
Come. Verse 18. And when they did meet it with Omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack.
So the people that gathered more, they didn't have more than what they needed. More was what was required for their house. The people that gathered less didn't go without either. The overflow from the brothers that gathered more went over to the people that had less, that gathered less. So everybody's needs were still met for the house. Keep going.
Come. They gathered every man according to his eating. Verse 19. And Moses said, let no man leave of it till the morning. Verse 20. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left of it until the morning.
So he was to gather all of it. Nobody's supposed to leave any of it behind. Some of these people they didn't collect the whole amount. And we're going to see how that ends up working against them for not following that simple order of don't leave anything in the morning. You got to collect it all. Keep going.
Come. And it bred worms and stank.
And that was the reason why Moses was telling them to gather, so it doesn't go bad. It doesn't rot on them. That this was meant to provide their families with nutrients while they're in the wild, trying to figure this whole thing out, how to structure your nation in the wild after coming out of captivity. And following orders is a huge part of that. That's something that we see a lot of conflict with in today's religious atmospheres and communities. We see how there's rules that are set and established that don't really get followed by those practitioners. That's why you got so many different sects of Christianity, so many different sects of Islam, even Buddhism. They've got different kind of branches. And that's one thing that had befell the nation of Israel here too. And we see that today, all these different schools that break off in different schools. You had one prime modern example of it is from the ISUPK. You had the House of Israel, or that's like the House of David. From the House of David came GMS. From GMS came Sakari. From Sakari came Genesis and the House of Bread. So that's from the UPK, five different mutations that perversed out of the UPK, out of the original school, that have different teachings from each other. Whatever personal differences they had amongst each other that made them not seek brotherhood to battle through any of their disagreements, that's between them. But we can see that they did not keep to the culture, tradition, and standard of the law, of the Bible, that the Most High had given the nation of Israel. Right. I would expect this among the small hats. I would expect this amongst Asians, Arabs, everybody else. The standard that we are meant to keep was not to build a religion out of this, but to observe our culture. And our culture is very clearly defined with laws, with rules and regulations, laws, statutes, and commandments, orders and consequences, or rewards. So we're seeing a lot of disobedience today. But as the prophecy does go in the scriptures, these offenses must come. We got to see heresies. We got to see these different breakoffs for you to be able to pick out who's actually the truth. ISUPK is home of the truth, been home of the truth since 1969. Defenders of the faith.
That's right.
Can't no other group say that. And this is why we stand so stringent with keeping to this code of conduct, because as any group of people needs established order. Their established order was something as simple as don't leave any man on the ground. They didn't need to know why. It's kind of how does the phrase go? Need to know basis. You don't need to know, just follow the order. But then they found out why, because this was gonna rock real quick. So we can see how some of this descent was happening, again, coming out of captivity, out of more or less a structured environment under the rule of another nation, coming into our own power, kind of not knowing what to do, who we're supposed to listen to, who's going to take the reins. We had at least over here, we had somebody with a whip. We knew who was in control. And they've been in that for so long, 400 plus years. It's just ingrained in them after generations of this. So Moses is bringing out a hard-headed people that's institutionalized in Egypt. So it's understandable that there may be some brick wall babies, but he's trying to reaffirm their culture by these guidelines, starting with even simple rules like this. So there is a law too to follow the orders of the men that are above you. That's part of the law. That's part of the culture too. All they had to do is not leave any food. You'd almost think that people would have been, eager to gather all the food since they were in the wilderness, crying about all the water and all the food. Now they're going to survive. That they should have gathered all this ahead of time and preserved it so that it didn't go bad. But they did not hearken to the word of Moses that he got from the Most High. And now we see that it bred worms and it stank. And Moses was wroth with them. So that's those 7 in English. Going back into the Hebrew. Exodus chapter 16, verse 21. Wayalakwatwa, Atwa, Babakwa, Ayach, Kapayat, Akalwa, Wacham, Hashemach, Wanamas. Verse 22. Wayahayat, Bayawam, Hashashayat, Akwatwa, Lacham, Mashana, Shanyat, Kaimah, Lachat, Uyaba'aw, Kal, Nashayaya, Haida, Slack. Haida, Wayagayadwa, Lamashah, verse 23. Wayalmah, Alaham, Hawa'a, Ashar, Dabar, Yahweh, Shabbat 1, Shabbat, Kodash, La Yahweh, Machar, At, Ashar, Ta'apua, Apua, Wa'at, Ashar, Tabasharwa, Basharwa, Wa'at, Kal, Haidat, Hanayakwa, Lakam, Lamasha Ramat, Lamasha Marat, I, Habakkuk, verse 24. Sit up. Verse 24. Wayana Yahweh, Athwa, Ai, Habakkuk, Kasha, Tazwa, Mashah, Wala'ah, Habayash, Warama, La'ah, Hayatha, Bawa, verse 25. Wayamar, Mashah, Akahalu, Hayawam, Kaya, Shabbat, Hayawam, La Yahweh, Hayawah, it's like Hayawam, La'ah, Thamata Zahawa, Bashara, verse 26. Shasha, Yamiyam, Talak Watahawa, Wabayawam, Hashabaya, Shabbat, La'ah, Yahaya, Bawa. It's those 7 in the Hebrew, back into the English. Exodus chapter 16, verses 20 through 26.
Come on. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 20. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses.
My fault, 21.
Come on. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 21.
So, and then actually, it's like if my count was off, I got to read one more verse. Verse 27. Yahaya, Bayawam, Hashabat, Slak, Hashabaya, Tazawa, Man, Slak, Mana, Haim, Lalaquat, Wala'ah, Slak, Matazawa, Slak, there you go. It's 21 through 27.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 21. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. Verse 22. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. Verse 23. And he said unto them, This is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy day, of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and see that ye will see. And that which remaineth overlay up for you to be kept until the morning. Verse 24. And they laid it up till the morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worms therein.
So he's giving them instruction on how to preserve it so that it doesn't go bad and they have enough. So people ain't got to stress it out. Keep going.
Verse 25. And Moses said, Eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto Yahweh. Today ye shall not find it in the field. Verse 26. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. Verse 27. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day, for to gather, and they found none.
It's not enough for us to get the instructions. Just take the word of our brother and the leader of our people. We got to go see it for ourselves. We have to go find out how strong fentanyl is. We hear all these horror stories about how it don't take much, just a little bit, just a grain of rice, and that could kill you. A child or an adult, that could be the end of your life right there. But we never really know for sure until we're the ones ODing off it. Then we can tell our loved ones, yeah, it's messed up. Don't touch it. We can't just go off the strength, go off the faith of the word, the reputation, the brotherhood. You can't just take their word for it. We have to see it face to face. You got to be almost pronounced dead before you take it serious. And before then, and before you can actually have a convicting message to your kids. So, you can really speak from the heart then, because you almost died. Because you just wouldn't listen. It's as simple as following the orders. And these orders are not grievous.
That's right.
Go out and collect them. All right, so going out there physically to collect this stuff, that might be a little tough. You gotta bend, it's on the horror farms. It's real tiny stuff. You gotta crouch over and you gotta collect all this. That could take a little while. It could be a little irritating, but it's not as irritating as not having it when you needed it.
That's right.
It's not as irritating as watching it go to waste and rot and mold and worms crawling out of it, and it stinks and it's no good for consumption. But that's not enough. We gotta find out the hard way. So going back into the Hebrew, we are in Exodus chapter 16, verse 28. Verse 28. We are Mar, Yahweh, Al Mashai, I, Ana, Ma'anatham, La Shema, Matazwathia, Watawarathia, verse 29. Ra'aw, Kayat, Yahweh, Nathan, Lakam, Ashba, Ab, Khan, Hawa'a, Nathan, Lakam, Bayawam, Hashashayah, Lakam, Yawamayam, Shabwa, Ayash, Fachat Yuwa, Al, Yataza, Ayash, Mamakumawu, Bayawam, Peshabiyayu, verse 30. Oyashabaku, Ain, Bayawam, Hashabayu, verse 31. Oyakwarau, Bayat, Yashab, Ah, Shemaw, Shamwa, Mana, Wahawa, Kazara, Gad, Laban, Wataimua, Katazapayaka, Barabash, verse 32. Bayamar, Mashah, Zahar, Hadabar, Ashar, Tazawaha, Yahau, Mala'ah, Haimar, Mamanwa, La Master Mara, La Darathicum, La Ma'ain, Yarau, Ah, Halakam, Ashar, Haakalathia, Athakam, Bamadabar,
Bahawa Tazayaya, Athkam, Marataza, Matazari. Verse 33. Wayama, Mashah, Al-Aram, Ka, Tazanah, Akha, Wathan, Mashah, Mala'ah, Haimar, Manah, Wahna, Athwa, Lapanya, Yahweh, La Masamara, La Darathicum, verse 34. Kashar, Tazwaha, Yahweh, Al Mashah, Wayana Ya Kahaya. It's like, Wana, Wahana Ya Kahawa. It's like Aran, Lapanya, Haida, Lamash, looks like Lamash Amara. Back into the English, Exodus chapter 28 through 34.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 28. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See for that the Lord hath given you the Sabbath. Therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man, abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. Verse 30. So the people rest on the 7th day. Verse 31. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander. Coriander seed. It was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. Verse 32. And Moses said, this is the thing which the Lord commandeth. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Egypt. Verse 33. And Moses said unto Aaron, take a pot and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before the Lord to be kept for your generations. Verse 34. As the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept.
So again, we see the orders from the Lord. Again, chastising them for going out to work on the Sabbath when they were given the order to collect everything on the 6th day. A lot of people try to use this verse for modern times when this was something that was applied to this to these circumstances back then. And today, if you have the luxury of not having a slave on the Sabbath, most time Christ, take advantage of it. That doesn't mean that on that day you can't go out to the grocery store, that you can't cook a hot dinner for your family, that you can't turn on the heater during winter. And
and in a lot of these dogmatic stipulations that people try to put on to the culture today. But this was something that was applied then in this time. Going back into the Hebrew, Exodus chapter 16, verse 35. Yeah.
All right, he's back.
Verse 35. Wabanya Yashala Akalu Hamana. It's like Hamana. Arabayim Shana I Baam Al Aratazah Nawah Shabbat Haman Akalu I Baam Al Quatazah Aratazah Kanaim. Verse 36. Wahayamah Asharya Hayapa Hawa. Exodus chapter 17, verse 1. Wayasaiwu God Ada Banya Yashala Mamaraba Sawan. It's like Sayan. Lamasayaham Paya Yahweh. Wayakhanwa Barapayagim Wayan Mayam Lashathat Ha'ain. Verse 2. Wayara Ha'ain Ain Mashah Wayamaru Lanwa Mayam Wanashata Wayama Laham Mashah Maha. The right, it's like Darayabun Amadia Maha Tanasawan Yahweh. Verse 3. Wayataz Maha Sham Ha'ain Lamayam Wayalan Ha'ain Mashah Wayama Lama Zaha. Ha'ila Slaki. Ha'ila Yatanwo Mamatazari Lahamayat Athiyat Wa'at Banya Wa'at Bakwanya Bataz Ma'a. Verse 4. Wayat Tazaikwa Masha Al Yahweh Lama Maha Aisha Lahain Hazah Iwa Ma'ait Wasaku Salak Wasakwalanwu. Verse 5. Wayama Yahweh Al Mashah Iba Lapanya Ain Wakat Athka. It's like Athak Mazakwanya Yasha'al, Wamataka, Asab, Hakayat, it's like Hakayat, Bawa, Ayah, Ka, Bayarka, Wahalaka. Back into the English. Exodus chapter 16, verses 34, 35, and then chapter 17, verses 1 through 5.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 35. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years until they came to the land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Verse 36. Now an omer is the 10th part of an ephah. How do you say that, sir? Ephah. Verse 7. What?
Chapter 17.
Chapter 17.
Chapter 17.
And all the congregations of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin. And after their journeys, according to the commandment of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. Verse 2. Wherefore the people did chide
That's just another word for belly aching.
with Moses and said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide ye with me? Wherefore do ye tempt the Lord? Verse 3. And the people.
And again, they were like blaming Moses for this when the whole time they've been getting the narration that they've been getting from Moses that, again, we came out here for the Lord. That was the whole reason about the Exodus in the first place. Trying to come and celebrate our culture, not getting allowed to. So now the Most High sends all these plagues on Egypt. The Israelites are witnessing this go on. Even to the point of participation when they mark the lintels of their doors and the side posts with the blood of the Lamb. So it's not like they're dumb to it, that the Most High is behind this. But still, they're pointing their finger at Moses, that they're holding him responsible for. So Moses let them know, listen, like, why are you tempting the Lord, trying to put all the power on me, not giving the credit to the Most High? When again, every time, if they would have just shut up and listened and been patient, all their needs would have been met. They would have been good. They were when they were thirsty, they found water. When they were hungry, they found food. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of, so that this is part of the practice of faith too. Except they've had the opportunity to witness the power of the Most High firsthand. But they're still being kind of hard-headed about it, giving Moses a hard time. Moses letting them know, like, listen, don't. It's the same thing that we say today. Don't you ain't got a problem with us. You ain't got a problem with the Bible. You got a problem with God. And it's just that simple. Take it up with him. For all atheists, I don't know who you would talk to about your problems. I don't know where you're gonna get the answer for this from. But everybody else concerning the supernatural, the fourth dimension, higher powers, it is contained here in the Bible, and you're only going to get that proper instruction and tutelage from the UPK, because this is what held the pedigree, the standard from the beginning all the way to now. Keep going.
Verse 3. And the people thirsted there for water.
It's probably been like 6 hours. And they just crying about it. Go ahead.
And the people murmured against Moses and said, Wherefore is that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst?
This is like the third or fourth time they've said the same thing to Moses. Like, why are we going through this again? Keep going.
Verse 4, And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, What shall I do unto these people? They be almost ready to stone me.
We know how we can get a little animated, little hostile. I was getting pizza. No, I was getting pizza next door. Last night we were getting pizza next door. And these YNs and these lovely females were just breathing fire down the neck of these very humble domino workers. They were just trying to make the pizza. Oh girl, she just reading off the orders as they come on. They can't do nothing outside of that. It's beyond their capabilities. They're following the orders as they come in. The internet's telling them something different, and they catching hell for it. Like, again, getting very aggressive, getting very hostile. If they did not have that protective glass there, how many videos have we seen what happens in KFCs and McDonald's and at Walmart and shit when our people don't get their way? How fast we turn it up for no reason over a pizza, over toilet paper. Listen, don't go out on Black Friday, man.
Right.
Don't go out unless you know what the hell you're doing. But again, these people in a moment of desperation and weakness, not just putting the blame on Moses, but getting hostile or pushing to the point of violence with the man. And even if that's just what Moses was, so let's say he was even exaggerating. You can still see the visual of us, like these people are going nuts, like they this close to killing me. Listen, 2 more words out my mouth and they get ready to put me to death. Because I keep on telling them, well, God's got you. Won't he do it? But it's never enough for them. They need that instant. They need that instantly. They can't wait on nobody. How impatient are we? You can't wait on nobody, huh? We're more impatient with ourselves, though. We got plenty of tolerance for other nations and other cultures. Plenty of tolerance for them. Every once in a while, you'll see it boil to a head. But we're just so much quicker to take out that frustration on one another. And we give everybody else kind of an excuse. We got to give them breathing room. We get close quarter with us. Keep going.
Verse 5, And the Lord said unto Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee of thy elders of Israel, and thy rod, wherewith thou smotest the river. Take in thy hand and go.
All right, back into the Hebrew. Exodus chapter 17, verse 6. Hananya, Amar, Lapanika, Sham, I, Tatazawar, Bachara, Bahakaya, Batazawar, Waya Tazawa, Mamanawa, Mayam, Washata, Ha'ain, Waya Isha, Khan, Masha, Layanya, Zakwanya, Yashal, verse 7, Waya Kwara, Sham, Hamakwam, Masa, Wamar Yaba, I, Raya, Banya Yasha'al, Wa'ai, Nasatam, At Yahweh, La'amar, Hayash, Yahweh, Bakwarabanwa, Ayan, Verzay, Wayaba, I'm Allah, Wayalakan, I'm Yasha'al, Barab Payaram, verse 9, Wayama, Mashah, Al, Al Yahawashah, Bakhar, Lanwa, Anashkim, Watazah, Halacham, Bahamalak, Akhar, Anaki, Natazabat, Natazah, I, Ra'ash, Hagabai, Wamata, Alahai, Bayadi, Percent, Wayaisha, Yahawisha, Kaasha, Amar, Laya, it's like Lawa, Mashah, Lahalakam, Bahamalak, Wamashah, Aran, Wachawo, Alawa, Ra'ash, Hagabai, verse 11, Wahaya, Kaasha, Yarayam, Mashah, Yadwa, Wagabar, Yashal, Wakasha, Yanayak, Yadwa, Wagabar, Amalak, verse 12, Wayadia, Mashah, Kabari, Wayakakwa, Aban, Wayashiyamu, Tachayat Slak, Thakathua, Wayasha, Ilaham, Waharan, Wachawa, the Makwa, Bayadu, Mazah, Achad, Wamazah, Achad, Wayahaya, Yadua, Mawana, Aiba, Hashtamas. Back into the English, Exodus chapter 17, verses 6 through 12.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 17, verse 6. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb. And thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, and the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. Verse 7. And he called the name of the place Massa, Massa.
Speak up.
And he called the name of the place Massa. And Meribah. Because of the chiding of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempt the Lord, saying, Is the Lord among us or not?
So again, all the miracles, all the plagues that they witnessed firsthand and took part in, they still question. You know, this is what happens when you let earthly stressors wear you down. And now your focus again is on me. That's how they're able to break us up, that whole divide and conquer technique. It's a great way to do it. Subject us to poverty, which is going to boost criminality, which is going to break up the home, cause sorrow, death, even more poverty, all the fines, all the tickets you got to pay. My mom had to work 3 jobs for a good amount of time because of all the tickets that she had to pay because of me and my brother. The lawyer costs, all the fines. You know, she shouldn't have had to go through all that. But this is something that we end up dragging ourselves through when we can't let that physical world go. That's why fasting is so important. It helps discipline your body and your mind at the same time so that you're not going to get overexcited or unnecessarily stressed out over not having water for a certain period of time, over not having food, especially the foods that you want for a certain period of time. To deprive yourself of that fleshly desire so that you can discipline yourself, you can discipline your mind, you can discipline your body so that you ain't got to rely on that all the time. Like the word says too, you know, we don't live on bread alone. You can't always just get by with satisfying your carnality. You need that manna from heaven. You need that spiritual growth and maturity and discipline in order to get through some of these tough times. Keep going.
Verse 8. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel and in Rephidim.
I want you to check out in verse 9 here. There's going to be a very common name that you hear pronounced Yahushua. We know the meaning of it to be the Savior, deliverer. If you go from in the New Testament written in Greek, you're going to see it as, actually, I think they use both, actually. You're going to see it as Jesus, but I do believe even in the New Testament, they do also say Joseph, or not Joseph, Joshua. I got to double check that. But if you look at how both of them are spelled and pronounced, it's still all going to be Yahushua. So reading verse 9.
Verse 9. And Moses said to Joshua.
Now, Joshua, if you go back into the Hebrew, that same name in verse 9, it says, Wayamar, and said, Mashah, Moses, al to Yahushua. Yahushua is Joshua in the Hebrew. Yahushua is Jesus in the Hebrew. Older New Testament. Just because you see the Greek words and the Greek characters, that doesn't do anything to change the culture of Israel.
Right.
So even in the Greek, it's still pronounced Yahushua. Or no, Slaki, that is incorrect. In the Greek, Jesus is pronounced what is it?
Isus, something like that. Isus. But if you look at the definition of what that is, it's still the same thing: deliverer, anointed, or a deliverer, savior, and that traces right back to Joshua, to Yahweh in the Hebrew. So the culture never changed just because the language changed, the dialect changed, the handwriting changed. The culture stayed the same. That's why when you're going through the Greek, you got to be careful of being so strict on the definition that is provided and not looking at the context and the culture behind it. Because you can say something crazy, like we always commonly use the word dog. You know, that can mean a couple of different things. I could be talking about 1 or 3 people real quick. My animals, old girl next door, or my boys, my brothers.
Right.
So just depending on how you put that, and you could mean it with every inflection of an animal when you're talking about old girl. It just depending on how, because you could be talking about the fleas that they got. You be talking about the funk, how she always wiping her ass on. Like you could go on and be describing a dog in every sense of the word, but you're talking about this female over here. So you got to be careful when you're just looking strictly based to rely on the definitions that are provided, and you're not taking into account the culture behind it and the context that's being applied. Keep going.
Choose us out men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. Verse 10. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moses and Aaron and Hur went up to the top of the hill. Verse 11. And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. Verse 12. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron stayed up his hand, the one on the one side, and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun.
So like a beacon, like a lightning rod, like an electrode or something like that. When his hands were up, Israel prevailed. When he couldn't keep him up like that, maybe he brought him down, shake him loose or something like that for a break or something like that. Amalek started to overpower Israel. So they gave him a chair, they gave him something to sit down on. So he's not just standing up the whole time with his hands raised. Now he gets to sit down, but he's still that beacon, he's still that lightning rod. But still, your arms get heavy. The blood starts rushing down. And even just holding your arms out. Ask my nephews. Even holding your arms out, it takes a strain on your body. So now you got 2 men. You got Aaron, his brother, and her. I can't remember. I'm not sure if it said her's relation, if any, direct familial relation to Aaron or Moses, or if he was just another brother in the camp. One on each side holding them up, keeping them strong, keeping that beacon alive, keeping that energy epicenter, that connection alive, and all the way to the sun going out. So when we're talking a battle between nations here, this isn't just a one and done. It's got a lot involved here. Now we're back into the Hebrew. Exodus chapter 17, verse 14. Well, Yahweh, Yahweh, Al-Mashah, Kathah, Zahah, Zakar one, Basapar, Yashayam, second, Washiyam, Bazanya, Yahawusha, Kaya, Macha, Ma'acha, Zakar, Amla, Mathacha, Hashemayam, verse 15, Wayaban, Masha, Mazabah, Wayakwara, Shamwa, Yahweh, Nasiyah, verse 16, Wayamar, Kaya, Yah, Kasa, Kas, Yahat, Malachama, La Yahweh, Ba'ai Malach, Madar, Dar. Exodus chapter 18, verse 1. Yashemai, Yatharawu, Kahan, Mariam, Kathan, Mashah, Ka, Ashar, Aisha, Alahai, La Mashah, Walaya Sha'al, Amwa, Kaya, Awad Tazaya, Yahweh, Yasha'al, Mamatazari, verse 2, Wayaka, Yatharawu, Kathan, Mashah, Tazapara, Asha, Mashah, Achar, Salah Wachaywa, Salah Wachaya, verse 3, Wa'af, Shanya, Bana, Banya, Asar, Sam, Ha'acha, Garasham, Kaya, Amar, Gar, Hayayathya, Barakaza, Nakari. Back into the English, Exodus chapter 17, verses 13 through 16, and chapter 18, verses 1 through 3.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 13.
Chapter 17, verse 13.
Wait. Chapter 17, verse 13. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Verse 14.
They didn't politic about it. They didn't sit down and have a peace tree about it. They went to war about this. So for people thinking that just because you men of God, you got to be all lovey-dovey with everybody and you just smelling the flowers all the time and it ain't nothing but tie-dyed war vesters. That's not reality. That's not practical. That's not the world that we live in. Sometimes you got to go to war. If at all, and like the scriptures say again, whenever possible, be at peace with all men. And if while we were traveling through, if nations would have just let us through or, aided us as we were going through, paid tribute, gave us resources, everything would have been cool. But you had some of these nations that were violent people. And again, we see that existing today too, all this peace and love mumbo jumbo. If that were going to be the mechanism to work, that theory, that ideology has been around for a very long time.
Right.
Then you should see that taking place on a more grand scale. But this upcoming war, this is what's going to be. This is going to be that nail in the coffin. This is what's going to stop all future wars and uprisings like this from ever happening again. And people want peace so bad. Unfortunately, it's going to take this, because the people that are in power right now have no ambition for peace, especially with the other nations. You see how they act amongst themselves. They ain't got that kind of peace. You still got cops shooting. So just to be clear on where I'm going with this, the so-called white man is in the seat of power today. Esau, or the Edomites, as the Bible described by their nation, they are the family group that's in power. You got Arab families that are in power, Asian families that are in power, East Indian families that are in power, but not like Edomites. You got the Russians, you got the Americans, you got the French, you got the Europeans, you got the Portuguese, the Spanish, the Dutch, the German, the Irish, the Italians. You got all these Edomite families that are dominant across the globe. And especially Esau, the American Esau, they've got their military powers, that they got bases in every country. They got embassies in every country. I don't know if China's got an embassy in Puerto Rico and Mexico. I know they're buying up a lot of land in a lot of different places and getting not just trade deals, but like mineral rights, water rights, air rights, things like that. So that they're gaining footholds in all these different lands, but they don't have to be as politically walking on eggshells as Esau does. Because everybody knows wherever he goes, it's going to be conflict. It's going to be oppression. If they get one sniff of blood, they're going in there for the kill. But this war that's coming up, that's going to put Esau in his place. The end of the world is Esau's, and the beginning of it that follow is Jacob's. So we're seeing how this prophecy is going to be taking place with that current being in control, how they're going to get supplanted by Jacob once again, and how Jacob's kingdom is going to rule going forward. But again, it's, wars break out, man. Hostilities, cultural differences, there's going to be friction. That's a natural thing. And there's nothing wrong with having friction, but depending on how you go about it. Amalek chose to go to war with it, and we accommodated. Keep going.
I don't even remember where I was at.
15. 14.
Verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Verse 15. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Yahweh. For he said, Yahweh Nissi. Verse 16. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
Now again, the Amalekites, these are offspring of Edomites. These are offspring of Esau. A couple chapters ago, when we had gone over the generations of Esau, or was it? Went over the dukes. That was 15. Slovakia. Well, we went over it not too long ago, but it went over the generations of Esau, and like their families that were empowered, that gained power too. Amalek is down that line. Saki, good.
Verse 18, chapter 18, I meant. It's lucky. What? When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, and that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. Verse 2. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back. Verse 3. And her 2 sons, of which the name of the one was Gershom. For he said, I have been alien in a strange land.
All right, back into the Hebrew. Shalom. All right, last 7. Exodus chapter 18, verse 4. Washam. Ha'atah. Ayazar. Kaya. Alahai. Abiyah. Baazari. Waya Tazalanya. Machara. Parai. Verse 5. Waya Ba'a. Yatarawa. Chathon. Mashah. Wabanywa. Wash Slaki. Washathwa. Al Mashah. Al Hamadabar. Ashar. Awa. Khana. Sham. Ha. Pa'alahai. Verse 6. Wiyamar. Al Mashah. Anya. Chathanaka. Yatharawa. Baya. It's like Ba'a. It's like Ba'a. Ayika. Washatat. Washanya. Banyaha. Anma. It's like Banya. Anma. Verse 7. Waya Taza'at. Mashah. Aquara'at. Khanathwa. It's like it. Chathanwa. Waya Shatach. Waya Shatakhwa. Wayasha. Lawa. Waya Sha'alwa. Ayash. Lara'ihwa. The Shalom. Waya Ba'awa. Wahala. Verse 8. Wayasapar. Mashah. Lachathanmu. Ah. Ka. Ashar. Aisha. Yahweh. La Pariah. It's like La Pariah. Wala Matazarium. I. Awrat. Yashal. Ah. Ka. Hatala. Ashar. Matazatam. Dabarak. Wayat Tazalam. Yahweh. Verse 9. Wayachad. Yatharawa. I. Ka. Patawba. Ashar. Aisha. Yahweh. The Yasha'al. Ashar. Hatazayalu. Mayat. Batazari. Verse 10. What? It's like, well, Ya'amar. Yatharawa. Barawak. Yahweh. Ashar. Bataziyal. Athakam. Mayat. Batazari. Wamayat. Pariah. Ashar. Bataziyal. Ayom. It's like Ha'ain. Mathachaf. Yad Matazari. Back into the English. Back to the chapter 18, verses 4 through 10.
This book of Exodus, chapter 18, verse 4. And the name of the other was Eliezer. Eliezer.
Be Eleazar.
Eleazar.
Let me just see. Yeah, Eliezer. Not to be confused with somebody else. If you know, you know. Keep going.
For the God of my father, said he, was mine help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. Verse 5. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moses into the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of God. Verse 6. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law, Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife, and her 2 sons with her. Verse 7. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and he did obeisance and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent. Verse 8. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord hath done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how the Lord delivered them. Verse 9. And Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which the Lord had done to Israel. Whom he had delivered out of the hand of Egyptians. Verse 10. And Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who hath delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who hath delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians.
So the same way that the Most High delivered our people once from the land of Egypt under that captivity, we are destined to be delivered from the hand of America. That's this captivity as well.
So we keep this in remembrance. We study the scriptures. We go back into the history of our culture, and we exercise our faith and our culture. With the Hebrew tongue, the last one, Kudash, you can join us every Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. in the respective time zones. Get ready for the Lord's 56th annual Passover, April 12th, in Atlanta, Georgia, man. Next week here, ISUPK Milwaukee Sabbath service from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. With that, I'm Majin, which we stand. We stand. Find Yakudam, turn to face the east. In the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, you can find the Matthew chapter 6, verse 9 through 13. Kabawat now, Kasalak now, Kabawat now, Walaha, Abiyah now, Kamsawa, Babo, Kamshat now, Mayan, Right, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wahal, Wapara, I will love you,
In English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be.
Pray for the power of you. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. The thunder now.
In English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be.
Praise bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Barakana. Yashal. Rabiyah. Bashem Yahushua. Warama.
In English. Lord, in the name of Yahushua. Bless us and Yahshua. In the school. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be.
Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha. Ayan. Ahahari. Ayan. Yabaa. Sorry. Mine. Yahweh. Aisha. Shamayam. Barakazah. Ayatan. Namawak. Agalka. Alyanawam. Shamar. Anat. La'a. Yanawam. Wala'a. Yayashan. Shawamal. Yasha'al. Yahweh. Shamar. Yahweh. Tazon. Ayat. Yamika. Yawamam. Ashma. La'a. Kaka. Bayrak. Layala. Yahweh. Yashmar. Karai. Yashmar. Athlepash. Yahweh. Yashmar. Tazah. Babuak. Maita. Why? Awulam.
In the In English, I will lift up my eyes to the hills.
I will lift up my eyes to the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help comes from the Lord,
My help comes from the Lord,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
You will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Yasharallah
he that keepeth Yasharallah
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The Lord shall preserve thy going
The
out
Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew, Al-Hayy. Al-Yadaka. Al-Bakarat. Al-Kashwa. Al-Kiyakana. Al-Yadika. Al-Hamiyawan. Al-Masnayika. Sha'awa Ra'at. Al-Aibika. Ya'ariyam. Al-Sawadat. Waya. Ya Itazuwa. Al-Tasawandika. Amaru. Lakwa. Al-Kakinam. Magawi. Walahat. Al-Askar. Yashalis. Al-Wadat. Haya. Nawa. Itazuwa. Laba. Yakadu. Ali. Baya. Yakarat. Hali. Arwan. Waya Shmailiyam. Nawab. Alagari. Ball. Ramuan. Ramulat. Kalishat. Kalishat. Tazawo. Yamachu. Ramuat. Imam. Ayuat. Zarawat. Banyulwat. Salat. Aishalaham. Mahdi. Gatsiyan Sarah. Kagabi. Anakal. Yashwan. Yashmat. Bayan Da'aru. Ayuat. Aman. Ladam. Shakdam. Nadaya Buwa. Kaira. Wakizam. 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 Khan the Sakam. Rashad. Maru. Nabi Rashad. Narawat. Nawat. Alahayy. Alahaya. Shaitambu. Kagalgal. Kwas. Afanyu Rakat. Dash. Tamari Yari. Kalahab. Kalahat. Aryam. Namadardam. Asari. Basupat. Sabalaham. Malahat. Anyaham. Walawan. Wayabakwash. Shukas. Yahaw. Yabash. Wayabahalu. Wayahari. Wayakabaru. Wayabaru. Wayadayu. Wayata. Shukas. Yahaw. Bakir. Anawan. Ka. Arataza.
In English, keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still,
And be not still,
O God.
O God.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make a tumble.
and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
and consulted against thy hidden one.
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said, Come, come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Yasharallah
At the name of Yahweh,
may be no more remembered.
there be no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against
They
thee,
are confederate against thee.
the tabernacles of Edom,
Tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites,
the Israelites,
Moab,
Moab,
Hagarene,
Hagarene,
Baal,
Baal,
and
Ammon,
and Amalek,
Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur is also joined with them.
Assur is also joined with them.
They have opened the children of Lot.
They have opened the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
As to Sarah.
As to Sarah.
As to Jabez.
As to Japheth.
As to brook Kison,
The brook Kison,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red.
Make the nobles like a red.
Like Zed.
Like that.
Yea.
Yea.
All their princes as Bach.
All the princes of Salah.
And Zalum.
And Zalmun,
Who said,
who said,
Let us take to ourselves the house of God in possession.
Let us take to ourselves the house of God in possession.
All my power.
All my power.
Make them like a wheel. As the stumble as the stumble before the wind.
As the stumble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burns the wood.
As the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
As the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Make them afraid of thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
They may seek thy name.
O Lord.
O Lord.
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yet,
Let
them be put to shame and perish.
to be put to shame and perish.
And men may know that thou,
And men may know that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the Most High,
are the Most High
over all the earth.
over all the earth. The power structure of the Hebrew, Barakateh Yahweh, Yahweh Shai.
Rakhtani Yahweh,
Swami Akahaba.
oh my God,
Bala Hayri.
Malahai,
Atazab Yah, Alawak Yahana.
Matazak Yahah, Alawak Yahah,
Alawak Yah.
Alawak
Atsarangi.
Yahah,
Atazaya Yah.
Matazaya,
Akaya Yogi.
Akaya,
Hakwaki.
All Quaki,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Hashem Yahweh,
Bala
in English, bless you, Yahweh,
Let me Yahweh.
and Yahweh,
Yahweh Shai.
and
Mike.
and the angels,
The angels.
the commanding general Yahweh,
Manager of the
the general,
general.
captain, the officer,
The officers.
troopers,
Troopers.
and the sisters,
And the sisters.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh, the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be
Thank
it.
you, so be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
All things living.
All things living.
Yahweh. Name Yahweh Shai.
Name of Yahweh Shai.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
And he was a curse.
He was a curse.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Our prophets.
Our prophets.
Teachers.
Teachers.
Princes.
Princes.
Priests.
Priests.
Israelite brothers.
Israelite brothers.
In school.
In the school.
And he was a curse.
He was a curse.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
Shake loose.
Shake loose.
The treasure of the rich of Israel.
Trust in the rich of Israel.
That refused to give to the school.
Our people to get to school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
And enter to thy sanctuary.
Into the sanctuary.
And he was a curse.
So he was a curse.
Punishment and destruction.
Punishment and
To
destruction.
the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nation.
And the
And the drug dealers.
And the drug
The court system.
Court
Prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood. All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Eminent synagogues and armies.
Eminent synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
Pope.
Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Catholicism.
Catholicism.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Classical Ties.
Ties.
Gay movement.
Gay movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
Space program.
Space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force. Marines. Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open the internet.
The airways.
The
Taxes change.
airways.
The radio change.
Radio change.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit.
Many of our people.
Many of our
That seek to stop us.
That seek to stop us.
That bring swift destruction.
That bring swift
To all the
destruction.
heathen.
All the heathen.
That stand in the way.
That stand in the way.
We're trying to stop us.
We're trying to stop us.
Broadcasting your words.
Broadcasting your word.
Planet Earth.
Rock America.
Loose all the plague.
Let loose all the plague.
Cause it to go to and fro.
Cause it to go to and fro.
Through the earth and consume them.
Through the earth and consume them.
The plague shake the house of the thief.
And the plague shake the house of the thief.
And murder.
And murder.
Yahweh shot.
God,
I gave you. Without the flying saucers.
God, flying saucers.
Punish all the heathen.
Punish all the
Keep
heathen.
them up against us.
Against us.
We speak thy word.
We speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause to be known by all.
It is the angels that have done.
That is the angels that have done.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause it to shake thy tongue.
Cause it to shake thy tongue.
And then Yahweh shot.
And then Yahweh shot.
Always.
Always.
So be it.
So be it.
So be it. Start to the front. Salute the Torah. Solomon. Yahba Shimi Shabrak Yah.
Yah Bashem Yah Starbuck Yah.
Y'all boss him, y'all stop rock. Yep.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh.
With a visual, Amagi, Shabbat, Amagi, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, Yamata, courtesy salute for the sisters. Meta visual, Shabbat, Amagi, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yamata. That concludes Sabbath service.
Welcome to Atlanta. Crisis Officer 5000, Jeremiah, the camp leader of Atlanta. Passover 2025, starting April the 9th, we got the lamb slaughter. April the 10th, we got General Muhammad's flag. April the 11th, we got the black party that's gonna have the Hebrew graduation. April the 12th, in Atlanta, Georgia, the 56th annual Passover, the only Passover under Commander Junior Hunter.
Our great and holy King has honored us for turning our lives from the darkness to the light, man. And no greater gift you can receive than to wake up to the truth and then commit your life to saving your brothers, man. Looking in their eyes and seeing their faces and seeing what they've suffered and what they've gone through and seeing the end of it, man. It is a guaranteed seat in the kingdom of heaven, man. So in the name of our King Yahushua, we dedicate us another Passover of brothers and sisters' lives being saved.
April the 13th, we got the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Shalom.